Alright, so I wanted to hop on here and make a video talking about this new interview that the president of Nintendo, Shuntaro Furukawa, he did this interview with Nikkei, which is like a Japanese kind of news outlet. He did an interview talking about the Switch and how long they plan on supporting it, and to me, and maybe this is like confirmation bias, but to me, this reads as him pretty explicitly saying, at the very least, the next console is not coming out until the end of 2024, which is pretty disappointing, I think, for a lot of people. A lot of people want this thing to come out sooner. I've been predicting that it will come out in 2025, but that's not necessarily what I want. I think there's some disconnect there as well with all the videos I've made. I don't want it to come out later. I would prefer if it came out sooner just because I'm a Nintendo fan and I want the best possible Nintendo hardware. But let's go ahead and get into this interview he did and kind of talk about each thing piece by piece. And I'll have the Video Games Chronicle article linked down in the comments below. Of course, I have to give full credit to them for translating what Furukawa said. In a new interview with Nikkei, Shuntaro Furukawa was asked if the life cycle of the Switch could be expanded further than the 6.5 years it's already been on sale. Furukawa replied that Nintendo would continue to focus on the Switch until the end of the current fiscal year, ending March 2024, and would continue to support the console with software in the following fiscal year, ending March 2025. So that right there, I think, his comment about them focusing on the Switch until the end of the current fiscal year, which is March 31st, 2024, I feel like, you know, we've seen, I made a video about this, we've seen rumors of a reveal happening in November because of Amiibo restocks. I've seen a ton of people thinking, oh, it's going to come out in March 2024, 7 years after the Switch came out. That comment alone, I think, pretty much cancels out any possibility of this thing even being mentioned before April 1st, 2024. I don't think there's a chance Nintendo even remotely suggests there's new hardware coming until after that point. But the wording in the second part of that quote is a little interesting, that they're going to continue to support the console with software in the following fiscal year ending March 2025. Now, this is where it can be a bit debated. You know, I've been predicting March 2025 because I think that just makes the most sense, but, you know, it's gonna be an overlap period, right? There's going to be that cross-gen period. I'm not saying I think Nintendo's going to release a bunch of patches for Switch 1 games. I don't think they're going to do that. Nintendo has shown no sign of ever doing that in the past, so I don't think, like, you know, Prime 4, for example, that might be a cross-gen game where they release it on both platforms, and, you know, if there's some big DLC they want to release for Tears of the Kingdom that, you know, Aonuma was not talking about, you know, maybe that'll be bundled as a new version on Switch that they sell you again. But in terms of, like, Mario Wonder getting a 4K patch, I don't think that's going to happen. Same thing with, like, Princess Peach Showtime and Thousand Year Door. Those are Switch 1 games, and I don't think they will have, unless there's some inherent boost running on the Switch 2, kind of like the PS4 Pro, I don't think Nintendo would ever do that. If anything, if they want to increase the performance of a game on Switch 2, and like I said, it's not like an inherent PS4 Pro kind of boost thing, or Xbox kind of thing there, I'd imagine they would just sell it to you again, because that's just how Nintendo has always operated. So him saying they'll continue to support the console with software in the following fiscal year, of course ending March 2025, that's interesting, and I mean, it shows that minimum now the Switch will have, 8 years of full support, which is really exciting as a fan of the Switch. I do wonder, you know, I think this pretty concretely destroys any possible argument that this thing's going to be announced in 2023 and released in, you know, like March 2024, like a lot of people have suggested. In fact, I would go as far as to say this destroys any chance of it releasing in the first 6 months of 2024, because if their focus is going to be the Switch until the fiscal year ending this in March, I would imagine that would mean they're not going to even mention the Switch 2, like I said, which means they won't announce it. And I don't think announcing it in April and releasing it in June, that's too quick. So if we are going to have that cross-gen period where they, you know, are releasing Switch 1 games and releasing Switch 2 games independently of each other like the 3DS and Switch had, I would imagine the earliest we could see an announcement would be in the second half of next year, and then maybe a release in the second half of next year as well. He said they're going to continue supporting the Switch into the fiscal year ending March 2025, but that does not mean they're going to focus on it. He used the specific word focus in terms of, you know, this current fiscal year ending March 2024, but when talking about March 2025, he said they will continue to support it through that. So the wording there is a little tricky. Obviously, this is a translation, so maybe it's not quite exactly the intent of what he said, but to me that sounds like, at the bare minimum, it's not coming out in the first couple of months of 2024, and at that point, I would honestly assume it would probably come out at the earliest, maybe September of 2024, if they announce it early in the summer. Carrying on here, he said, quotes, "In the fiscal year ending March 31st, 2024, we hope to sustain the momentum of Zelda and the Super Mario Bros. Movie with focus on the holiday sales season. As for hardware, we will maximize not only new demand for the hardware, but also for those buying second consoles and replacements." Which pretty much just sounds exactly like what we can see Nintendo doing this holiday. They have the new Mario OLED, they have this new Animal Crossing Switch Lite bundle that comes with New Horizons for $200. So if you don't have a Switch, or you have another kid in your household and you want to get another Switch for them, or like as a gift, there's plenty of people to get that for, and that's actually a pretty good deal. So I would imagine the Switch will probably do pretty good this Christmas, especially if any retailers want to discount that stuff on Black Friday. I don't think that typically happens, but either way, those are pretty compelling bundles. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think this is, I guess, damning evidence for or against a Switch 2 releasing in the first half of 2024, or even in 2024 at all? I know people are going to spin this as, oh, he used the word focus. That's like when they do Nintendo Directs and they say they're focusing on games, so that must mean he actually doesn't mean that, or something along those lines. Or people will say, oh, well, Nintendo's lied in the past. Yes, Nintendo hasn't done that, though, since, what was it, the 3DS XL, I think, in terms of just blatantly lying about hardware. So, to me, as someone, once again, I want to clarify this, because I got a comment about it on yesterday's video. I want the Switch 2 to come out as soon as possible. That is ideal for me. But as someone who has been analyzing Nintendo for over 10 years now, and following what they do, I'm just predicting early 2025, and based on what he's saying, that to me indicates an early 2025 release, or at the very least a late 2024 release, September to November, in that time frame. I think any talk of a reveal in November at this point is just foolish and needs to stop, because it's not happening, and it's certainly not releasing in March of 2024. It's not gonna happen. I know it's fun to speculate, I love speculation, but we gotta set expectation, guys. It's not releasing in the first half of next year, so I'll be very curious to see how Nintendo handles this into next year with the first Direct, probably in February. You know, what kind of games will come to the regular Switch to support it through next holiday if there is no Switch 2 for Christmas next year. Of course, we'll have a new Pokemon game for the Switch 1, even if new hardware comes out, but we'll also probably have, you know, there's that rumored DK game. I've been talking about Tomodachi Life a lot. There's rumors of ports of F-Zero GX, and we saw Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. I mean, there's still plenty of things they could do. Maybe a new 2D Zelda game could be on the horizon, maybe something from Grezzo, because I don't know if it's confirmed if they're doing Mario RPG yet. So I'll be curious to see what kind of stuff they have lined up for next year. I am expecting a lighter year than this year has been, for sure, because this year had a new 3D Zelda game and a new 2D Mario game. I don't think we're going to get anything on that caliber, but, you know, some more kind of like medium tier titles. Like, we're getting Princess Peach Showtime. Maybe we could get that Xenoblade Warriors that everybody's dreaming about. You know, I think there will be enough next year, and then, yeah, maybe that 2D Donkey Kong game is their big holiday game. Or, crazy thought, not that I think they would position Metroid as their big holiday game, but maybe Metroid would be released in October, and that would be like Nintendo's holiday game alongside, like, I don't know, a Mario Party. They did that in 2021. Wouldn't be surprised if they do it again and then have Pokemon the following month. So now that I'm thinking about it, actually, I think 2024 could low-key kind of be a repeat of 2021 in terms of that holiday season, if the Switch 2 doesn't come out, where we get Metroid Prime 4, a new Mario Party, and then maybe Pokemon Remix, which is what happened with Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. That could happen. And then throw in something else. I don't know what would replace WarioWare Get It Together that released last September. Maybe Rhythm Heaven? That'd be nice. Or Tomodachi Life. And then in the summer, you'll have that Thousand Year Door remake. I think it's going to be a good year, just nothing to the same scale as Tears of the Kingdom or Mario Wonder. So let me know down in the comments below. Do you agree with me? Do you believe that the president of Nintendo, Shuntaro Furukawa, is being truthful when they say the Switch will be their focus until the fiscal year ending March 2024? Or do you think he's fibbing? Do you think they're just trying to hide it so that people will buy the Switch this Christmas? I mean, I'm not going to sit here and deny the fact that, you know, there's plenty of rumors about the Switch 2 being shown at Gamescom, and developers already have their hands on it. But to me, that doesn't really indicate an imminent release. That just means kind of soon release. I don't know. I'm rambling at this point. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? And I would love to get a discussion going down there. So subscribe for more Nintendo coverage like this pretty much each and every day. Yeah, of course, subscribe here for more Nintendo content, and I will see you all next time. Peace.